Hello. Hopefully this is all working. Colour balance is off again. I have to fix that. There you go, that's a bit better. Hello, guys. Hi, Jane. Hi, Cody. Oh, let's get settled. I'm going to be finishing off my owl today. Well, I'm going to be working on this. Whether I'll get it finished or not, I don't know. But we'll see. What I need is a pencil. Before I start doing anything on the background, got a bit more to do on this. I want to get the owl in because he is the main focus of the painting. So I want to get him in now. A little bit higher up. Let's see. I'm going to use this negative space here to try and draw that back of the owl. Not high enough. It's very hard to judge the size of this thing. Okay. I'm going to use a softer pencil, I think. Let's use you. Okay. This is what I'm, oh, there you go. This is what I'm trying to get into there. Maddie, shh. Good girl. Maddie's here. Maddie's saying hello. Good girl. Go lie down, baby. Good girl. It's really hard to judge where the owl's going to be. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to line it up here. Kind of guesstimate the height and width here using the camera. So that's the angle there. That's about I know it's not showing on camera at the moment. It's because I'm drawing really light. That's the same angle about there. I'm just I'm drawing a box to put my owl into. Let's see if that helps. Okay, so and he's got this kind of round thing on his face. Draw the rest of the owl. And this is working a bit better now. Here we go. Okay, and around this side. You'll see this better in a second. I'm gonna negative space him. So there we go. That's better. Maddie. Oh, she's got the wines today. I don't know what's up with her. Okay. You're a quiet bunch today. Maddie, settle down. Come on. Good girl. Belly rubs for Maddie. There we go. Settle. You've been out. You've had your dinner. You've had a drink. You've had biscuits. You've had treats. No. Settle. Go to bed, please. Bed. Bed. Go to bed. Okay. So now I've got my owl sketched. Hey, Susan. I can draw him in a bit better and you'll be able to see him this time, hopefully. Is that brightness off? That white balance? God, it's so... What is wrong with this? Everything's so blown out. Okay, restore. There we go. Autofocus off. Zoom in. I don't know how to get rid of the glare. How do we get rid of the white glare? It's not that one. Not that one. That changes the hue. That changes the saturation. I don't know how to... I think we're just stuck with it until I start painting. Sorry, guys. Maddie, stop. You're being naughty. Go to bed. Okay. He's got a little thing here and his beak. His markings. Okay. So there's the owl. There you go. You can see it now. I'm not going to draw the grass in or anything because I don't really need to. I can paint that in afterwards. But what I do want to do is get the negative light around the back of the owl. Maddie, stop. You're being a brat. You're being a brat. Stop it. Come on. Don't be naughty. Come on. Okay. I want to keep the background of this bit nice and light, so I'm going to use watercolor because I can get this really light up here. And then gradually fade it down. Got to be careful not to re-wet that gouache, because I can't remember if that's acrylic gouache or regular gouache. I know the blue is both, but I can't remember which black I used. Okay. Use this guy here. No, I don't want to put it on. Let's put it on here. There we go. Do that. I think the problem is because I've got this white page over here, it's blowing everything out, which is annoying. I wonder if I put my cloth on there, that will help. Might do. The owl is actually white, so I don't think I'm going to paint him in yet. I think I need to. I'm going to add, well, this is still wet, some granulating watercolor at the bottom here, because I don't have to pay a me hair. That's unusual. I don't want to have to paint lots of background details in here. I just want to give it some depth. So by using the granulating watercolor, that will help. Yeah. Okay. We can start working on the rest of it again while that dries. This is going to have leaves. I don't know why I painted this bit brown when there's a big bit of green in there according to the reference, but oh, because I wasn't copying the reference. I remember. I wasn't copying the reference. I was just using it as inspiration. Where's my brush? Oh, there it is. It's hiding behind that one. Okay. So I need some more grey down here with the brown. So I need my white. And ivory black. Okay. Should have washed the palette because some of this is words acrylic wash and some of it isn't. So I probably should have washed the non-acrylic wash off my palette, but okay. So I've got this big tree root here. And we've got this tree root coming up here. This coming across here. Are you all working on things today or something? You're all very quiet. I'm not used to having it this quiet in the chat. I'm going to preserve some of the brown underneath to try and get it to look a little bit textured. I don't have anything to chat about. I know. What is wrong with me? We don't have anything to talk about. That's not dark enough. I keep forgetting this black isn't really black. It's ivory black, so it actually turns grey. I keep forgetting that and not using enough of it. What can I talk about? Sketchbooks. Since we're doing a sketchbook session, why don't we talk about sketchbooks? I currently have several sketchbooks on the go. This one is an 8x10 Stillman and Burn Alpha, so it's a medium texture. It's very comparable to the Strathmore Mixed Media, which I'm not a fan of. I love the paper, but I don't like the fact that the sketchbooks fall apart. I don't know why mine fall apart, because I'm not particularly rough with my sketchbooks, but they do. They fall apart constantly. So I like these because they don't. And they're a lot cheaper over here as well. So this is my mixed media painting sketchbook. All of my stuff is mixed media. I very rarely paint anything in just one medium at a time. I like to throw everything at the page and see what sticks. But this one is more for painting stuff or markers, or as opposed to my mixed media Moleskine, which is more art journal-y type heavy paint collage, layering stuff. That makes sense. So I mean, this is a lot of layering, but it's all paint. It's different types of paint. It's acrylic and gouache and acrylic gouache and watercolor and all sorts, but it's still paint. I also use markers in this one. Love markers on this paper. Yes, it bleeds because they're alcohol markers. Alcohol markers bleed on everything. So that's this one. I also have an A5 version of this, or the 5.5 by 8 or something. Hello, Miss Maddie. Oh, Snoot. Look, hello, Snoot. Hello, Snoot. Hello, Snoot. Hi. Kiss the Snoot. Mwah, 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 mwah. There we go. Kissing Snoot. Hi, baby. So I have an A5 version of this. It's not A5. It's smaller than A5. It's like a Moleskine. Same stuff, but smaller stuff, because these size pictures, as you know, take me hours. I'm a slow painter. So this, I did like 2.5 hours the first session. I've got another 2 hours today. Probably won't finish it. Probably not going to finish it. I'll need some more on top. So we're looking at 6 hours to do a page like this, whereas a half size page, half of that I can do in a couple of hours. So I just wanted something that I could do smaller paintings in. I've got a similar setup with my Moleskines. So Moleskine Sketchbook, the one with the thicker paper in. And hi, Maddie. Hi. Yeah, I know. Settle down, baby. Settle down. So the Moleskines, yeah, I've got a similar setup with my Moleskines. I've got a large Moleskine and a small Moleskine in the sketchbook paper. Now, the large Moleskine is not 8x10, which annoys me. They don't do the XL size in the sketchbook. I wish they did, but they don't. So I have an A4 one, and I have the regular size Moleskine. It's called a large, but it's the normal A4, A5 size type thing. Those I do this kind of thing in, but I'm a lot less painterly in those because they take mixed media very well, which includes collage. I also do a lot more acrylic paint and ink and things like that in those, because the paper can handle it. But the work I do in my books is not the difference. the difference comes from how I use the paper. It's the paper that's important. That's why I have multiple sketchbooks. First, size. I like working both large and small. Second, the different types of paper in the sketchbooks. So this is mixed media paper, medium grain, but it's quite smooth. It's very comparable to the Strathmore. The moleskin paper is more like cardstock, and that's very good for taking heavy collage and that kind of thing. I wouldn't waste this paper by doing mixed media collage type stuff on it, because my moleskin takes that a lot better. Then I have my what we in the Buy Bun Patreon called our off-camera Chronicles, which is a XL size plain moleskin book. So it's the plain paper, the thin paper that fountain pen users like to complain about. But if you're a mixed media painter or work journaler and you like the crinkle of the paper that you get from Tomo River, but you don't want to waste Tomo River paper by doing mixed media on it. Maddie, stop! Come on, you're being naughty. Stop it. Settle. Sorry, dog's going mental today. Yeah, if you don't want to waste this paper, because it is expensive, it's 20 odd quid for one of these books, then the plain moleskins work really well for just doing rough stuff. A lot of people call them ugly sketchbooks. Hey, Risha. So I only have one size of that. That's the same size as this. It's this one. I call it my studio sketchbook because it's where I do a lot of very rough work or just this sketchbook type of paintings, or, you know, testing media and that kind of thing. Maddie. Also, if I want to do any line work that I want to transfer, I'll usually draw it in there. What is wrong with you? What's wrong? Do you want to go out again? I gotta go and let her out again. I'm sorry. Give me a second. I will be right back. Maddie, you want to be a brat? Yes, you are. Come on. Come on. You're going to settle down. Good girl. Go on, sit under the table then if you want to. Pick somewhere to sit. Go now. Oh. There we go. We're back. It's not the page I need open. There, that's what I need. Where was I? So two of these, two alphas, two moleskins, my studio moleskin, which is the crappy paper sketchbook. And the other ones I've got are art alternatives. I have an A5, which I like to use as a journal because it's really thick. There's none of this 92 pages rubbish. It's got like 175 pages or something. It's chunky, which is what I like for my journals. So I do journal sketching, I suppose you'd call it, just day to day, whatever I feel like doing. I don't know what else I want to do. I just pick up a pencil and start sketching, kind of thing. That doesn't mean I don't do this kind of stuff in it. It just means that it's less likely to be something that's a finished piece. It's more journaly. I also write notes in it and journal in it, obviously. I do sketchbook journaling, I suppose you'd call it. Illustrated journaling, whatever. But I'm very hit and miss about it. I don't do it every day. I don't, I just have a book with me. My personal equivalent of that is a moleskin expanded, again in the thin, crappy paper, because it's a joy to work on. And that's what I've labeled my Scream into the Void sketchbook. That is personal. I no longer share it. It's nothing to do with anybody. It's off camera. It probably never will be toured or shown or anything. I mean, I very occasionally might share 1 or 2 pages from it on Patreon, but other than that, it's not a sharing sketchbook. It's just my off camera. You don't have to ever do anything with this. Like my studio sketchbook is more kind of, at some point you might see it, like when it's finished I might do a tour of it and show you what I've been working on and stuff, how I use it, that kind of thing. But my Scream into the Void journal, that's not for anybody's consumption but mine. So that's those two. And then I've got the other alt alternatives ones. I've got a really big one, like size wise really big. It's 16 by 22 inches, I believe. So it opens out 22 by what's 2/16. Think. Come on, brain, think of things. Come on, brain, you're so smart. Whatever 2/16 is. Somebody else do the math. My brain can't. I literally just can't. What the hell? Yeah, 2/16 by 22. And that, I started using it as my big stupid sketchbook. And I was doing large pieces of work in it. What I now use it for is to do large sketches or studies in that are going to turn into large pieces of work on canvas. Because one of my things this year is to paint more. And part of what I want to do is paint more on canvas because I really enjoy it. Well, not canvas, but canvas boards, big paintings, proper paintings you hang on the wall, because I actually really enjoy doing that. So more of those. And that's where I do those, because I paint bigger. So it makes sense to use a bigger sketchbook. So I might rough it out in one of my small sketchbooks, just thumbnailing. But then when I want to do like a study or a rough version of this, which might look something like this, to be honest, I do it in the big sketchbook before I go straight onto canvas. I never used to do that, but I've found it helps me finish the piece if I know where I'm heading with it. Otherwise, I end up with things like my big wolf painting there that is still half finished. Because I don't quite know how I want it to end up, because I didn't do any sketching beforehand. Let that be a lesson to you. Then I've got my new big stupid sketchbook, which is also an art alternatives book, which is the massive 600-page monster that people either go crazy with it and try to finish it in a month, or they just try working in it and then they go, yeah, I'm not doing this, and it becomes like a car seat. I think Buns became a car seat. Or a doorstop or something. She uses it to flatten down her other books, I think, in the studio. She's never going to work in it. I do want to use mine, actually. I want to use it mostly for sketching, surprisingly, not for doing finished pieces, but just my idea was to have it out on the table just for doing rough sketches, rough ideas, that kind of thing. So it would be a catalogue of work almost. And then once I've done the finished piece, take a photograph of the finished piece and put it in that book. That's what I'm thinking. I have done 1 or 2 pages in it, but I haven't really committed to it yet. I haven't really started it yet. I've done 1 or 2 pages just to get a feel for the size of it, and because that's how I decided what I was going to do with it. Because I don't want to have a massive 600-page book that's completely impractical, that's full of finished pieces like this, because I can't even scan it. It would break the scanner. So I want to use it, but I want to use it more for very loose, very rough, very whatever kind of books, ideas and things, because with it being 600 pages and so big, I mean, it's going to take me years to fill this thing up. But that means that stuff that I've drawn like 2 years ago would be in that book, which might then, you know, this piece plus this piece plus this study put together might then turn into this, for instance, because that's how I work. I will work on bits and pieces over years sometimes. And I just thought it would be interesting to have that as a kind of permanent on-the-go idea catalogue. So I think that'll be fun to play with at some point. And that's it. That's all my sketchbooks. So 2 Stillman and Byrne alphas, 2 Moleskine sketchbooks, 2 Moleskine crappy paper sketchbooks, one of which is an expanded, that's my personal do anything in it, scream into the void journal. Like literally, if I just want to write in big crayon across the pages, that's what I do. It's not a piece of art in any way, shape or form. A lot of it is black scribbles. That's how I vent. And then my 3 art adventures, which are, one's a journal and the other 2 are, one is a large format sketchbook, very large format sketchbook for preliminary studies and things for paintings, and the other one is going to be a kind of a catalogue. That'll be an interesting thing to build up, I think. So yeah, I've also got a few sketches that I can transfer. Like I did sketches, I did digital sketches actually for my wolf painting. I never put them onto paper, which I think was a mistake in retrospect, but I do have digital sketches and things that I could also put in that book. Okay, I'm happy with the light and dark on this. I like it without so much brown, which sounds weird because it's a tree. But I do like the more grayish colouring. So now what I want to introduce is some more brown and some green. So I want, where's that nice? You have trouble wrapping your head around multiple sketchbooks. Well, they all serve different purposes. I don't work chronologically. I like to have multiple things on the go. So like, while this is drying, what am I going to do? What sketchbook am I going to work in? Well, a different one. So I've actually got two other books, my large and small moleskins that I've been working in today, which both have stuff on it that needs to be left out to dry. So I've been able to work on one, then the other, then come back, then work on it again, letting the two dry. And now they're sitting out to dry while I work on this. And then while this is drying, I'll go back to one of those. So it's practical for me. But remember, I work in sketchbooks all day, every day. This is my job. This is what I do. Oh, there it is. There's the Viridian. And I want some. Nope, that's purple. Right, there we go. So if you don't draw all the time, or you only draw occasionally, or you just, maybe you do draw every day, but that's all you do. You don't draw all day every day. You just draw for maybe an hour, hour and a half, and then that's it. Or you do one thing. Maddie, stop. You've been a brat. Then it doesn't make sense to have more than one sketchbook, or maybe two sketchbooks at most, maybe a large one and a small one, and you swap between the two during a painting session. But I do lots of different types of media. I do work in different sizes. I like to work on different papers. And if I had to work in one sketchbook from start to finish in chronological order, I would be bored within a week. So bored. So bored. I also don't like that feeling of this is too precious to work in, because it's nice paper, Sometimes I just want to scribble, and I don't want to waste nice paper with just scribbles. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to scribble. So where do you do that? And I don't like working on random bits of paper. That just grabbing something off the printer is not something that works for me. So too blue. Let's put some black in there. Desaturate it a bit. Maddie, you've literally just been out. Stop it, please. I can't get around the idea of people having multiple planners. I can understand having a personal planner and a planner for work. Or if you've got maybe a personal planner that you use, and then you've got a family planner that everybody in the family uses. I can understand that. I can't understand all these people who have like 11 different planners and they're the only one who uses them, and they're not for anything. They've got a gratitude planner and a church planner and a work planner and a personal planner and a kids planner and this and that, and I'm like, why don't you just put it all in the same one? I don't get it. Why not just have one big planner, put it all in there? That doesn't make sense to me at all. But each to their own. If it works for you, it works for you. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I have one planner. I have a journal. No, I have a planner that I use kind of like a journal that's specifically, that's my tarot and astrology journal, but that is very specific for one purpose and one purpose only. But my actual planner, yeah, I don't do any planning in my tarot and astrology. It's just it's more like a dated notebook. Let's put it that way. It's a dated notebook so that I don't have to write in dates. Maddie, stop. Stop. You've been a brat. Settle down. I don't know what's up with her today. She's moany. I don't like that. I need to oh, actually, I do like it. I didn't like it on here, but I do like it on there. It reads better on screen. Will you stop, please? It reads better on screen, so it'll probably be better once it's got some texture on it. Maddie, baby girl, what's the matter? She needs attention, Mama. The girl needs attention. Everybody give Miss Maddie attention. Sketching a parsley flower. Cool. It's funny because we always think of parsley as being leaves, don't we? But they've got those big white-headed flowers. Or big-headed white flowers. There we go. That's the right order. You're a good girl. Now, can you please let me work? If you let me work, we can have girl time later. That hurt. You need to stop. I think that's my keyboard as well. I'm going to have to rescue that. Hang on. Okay, you need to stop. You need to stop. Stop. Go to bed. Go to bed. We're done. You're not gonna be a brat. Oh. No, you're not gonna be a brat. Go on. Go and lie down. Yeah, that reads better than I thought it did, actually. Let's put some grey. I don't know what I was talking about now. Has anyone heard about HBO rebooting Harry Potter as a series? Are there not enough young adult TV series based in magical schools? Have we not done that already? Death. And crikey, how long is it going to be? Like, oof. I like Harry Potter and I still probably wouldn't watch it, to be honest. Maybe if they just did the first book. I'm at the excuse me, whoa, voice. I'm at the point with TV and movies and everything where I'm like, can we write something original instead of doing a constant reboot? Please. Seven seasons, one for each book. I can't see them doing the whole of the last book in one season. They couldn't do it in one film. Although they could have done it in one film if there had been less wandering around the forests shouting at each other. I don't know. I'd rather see them write 7 seasons of a brand new thing about different characters doing different things. I'd rather see them put together take all the information about Tom Riddle and the bits from the other books, outside the Harry Potter series books, and do a series on the life of Tom Riddle. That would be interesting. How did he end up as Voldemort? Let's do that. What really happened inside the house of the Lily and James? Where did that snake thing come from? And how did he figure out he was a Parseltongue? That would be really interesting. I would love to watch that. Or even some of the pre-Harry Potter, because I'm sure like Bellatrix and all that would have gone to Hogwarts, wouldn't they? So do the history, what was it like with them being there when McGonagall was younger and Dumbledore was younger, but not so far back in time that it's like Fantastic Beasts or whatever it's called. Fill in some of the bits about the side characters or the older characters. Because Snape and Lucian and the Marauders and all those were all at Hogwarts at the same time. That would be so much more interesting to me as a TV series than going over the same thing over again. Write something new. Side quest characters, spin-offs I can do. Delve into what different characters' dynamics were like. do post Harry Potter with the new generation at Hogwarts, you know? If you really want to do young adult fiction, do the new generation at Hogwarts, or the kids going for their first years. I think J.K. Rowling would have to be involved in writing it because she owns it. She would either have to be involved or she would have to give the okay for it. But I would like to see somebody else write it, but her in a, what do they call it, a consultant role. So they can make sure everything sticks to the history that she's already got and everything. And of course, it has to stick with things that she's put out about previous characters and all that kind of stuff. I haven't even watched Fantastic Beasts. I started watching the first film, and the guy who plays, what's his name? Scamander, is it? I always want to say Salamander, but that's not the one. The only thing that kept me watching the first film as long as I did was the cute little black thing that looked like a platypus. He's the only reason I watched as far into the film as I did, and I didn't even finish the film because that, I don't know who he is that is doing, well, Scamander has no personality. he's like Doctor Who 10.5. He has no personality of his own. He feels like Doctor Who, and I don't like it. I need a character with personality that I can relate to. And if I don't find the character interesting, then I'm not going to watch it. The Niffler, that's it. Yeah, the little gold. I could watch an entire. Now, if you want to write 7 seasons of the Niffler and his friends in an animated series, you go for it. I will watch 15 series of that. It was awesome. I love the Niffler. Let's do a Niffler film. I suspect the TV series is to catch the new generation who will play the game and want to know more about it, but won't have the thing of reading books. They won't want to read books because they're all used to 10-second videos. Maddie, stop, please. Your whining is getting on my nerves. You do not need to whine. That's not the one. Yeah, I mean, let's explore the Nifflers. You know, were they involved in the war effort? And if so, how? Were they shipped off to Germany and digging into the gold stores and stealing money back off the Germans? Because that would be fun. And if so, how? How were they organized? How were they doing it? You know, did they have a little army of Nifflers? And did they wear little headlights on their heads? Because these are the things I want to know. I do not need to watch Harry Potter go to school all over again. The snake came from the Fantastic Beasts series. See, there's an excellent option to make a TV series that links Fantastic Beasts to Harry Potter. All about Nagini and, you know, okay, you find out where she comes from in Fantastic Beasts. How does she end up with Tom Riddle? Or was she not with Tom Riddle? Did she find Tom Riddle after Tom Riddle started being Voldemort? Or, you know, that would be interesting. That would be really interesting to find out about. Maybe I'll have to try and give the Fantastic Beasts another go. I don't know though, because I'm still sore about the fact that they kicked Johnny Depp out for no reason. So I don't know if I can, if I can stick with it all the way through, but I might give the first one another try. Mute. There we go. That's the one. I have no personality of my own. I'm just ripping off the 10th Doctor. So I'm losing my contrast there. I need to put some contrast back in. Let's put some more of this blue violet back in. Not dark enough. Desaturate. There we go. That's better. There we go. Johnny's returning. What, to the Fantastic Beasts franchise? I wouldn't. I'd tell him where to stick it. That's me. And why it didn't make much money. Let me think. Okay. Get this here owl painted in. I think I'm going to do him in this very light grey, maybe even a bit lighter, and then I can add white feathers to him and they'll stand out a little bit more. I want to paint the owl in before I do the rest of this because there's grass coming up over the owl. So I'm happy with his background. I think his background is detailed enough. I don't think he needs anything more than the dappled light. All righty. Swap to a slightly less haggard brush now. Oops. So as we get nearer to this spot of sunlight, I want to add some warmer values, I think. So I'm going to find a nice warm brown. Start mixing that in. That's far too much paint. I didn't need to put that much paint out. Need to see my owl. There we go. Okay, he's got reddish patches. Some of this here. Yeah, it was way too much paint. I have to find something to use that for in a minute. Gnat, go away. You dare bite me. Okay. Because it's me and I don't like to waste paint, and these things are expensive. I'm going to show you how to put paint back in your tube. So we're going to not squeezing the paint, we're squeezing it as if we were squeezing paint out, but sideways to get all the current paint down into the tube. Now I'm going to squeeze it up so that it's just shy of the top of the tube. A little divot there. I'm going to take this, we're going to pop it back in that divot. And the reason we're squeezing the tube is so we can go like that and it all goes back in. Squeeze it sideways, get it back in the thing and repeat. So all that big dollop of really expensive acrylic wash can go back in the tube. Squeeze it sideways. Make sure there's no air bubbles. And there we go. We've salvaged that massive thing of paint that we really didn't want to waste. Actually, I'm going to warm a bit more of this wing up. I like the darker brown on the bird. Maddie, stop. Settle, please. You're not going out. It's not time for tea. Okay. Now the green, I squeezed a lot of the green out, but I'm actually going to use the green, so I'm not worried about that. I'll just use the big thing over here first to get this really dark glaze over here. Stop, Maddie, please. This is regular Spectrum Violet, this blue. So I can actually mix it with the green on the paper. It'll reactivate. I can get that lovely hazy blue. Oh, I keep going off camera. Sorry. Oops. I'm not putting too much detail down this edge because it's going to be covered by greenery here. I just want it to look textured and dark in the background. Maddie, stop, please. Oh, oh. I do a lot of playing with pushing and pulling your contrast with gouache, because lighter colours dry darker and darker colours dry lighter than they appear when they're wet. That's why I go backwards and forwards with the contrast and, you know, layer things up. But that's what I enjoy doing when I paint, so I don't have a problem with that. But it's not a fast process, I can tell you that for nothing. I've lost some detail here, so I'm going to go back in with some lighter green. And one of the interesting qualities of this acrylic gouache is that it goes sticky, if you like, as it dries. So you can actually get some quite good dry brushing effects, because it kind of drags the brush on the paper. You get a lot of friction. And friction means texture, and we love some texture. There we go, that's better. Put some darker values back in over here as well. Yeah, time to clean the paint tube a bit. Don't forget the threads on the inside of the cap. You can also do with a clean. Hey Meg. Hey Tyler. See that black down there looks very, very stark. But it's once it dries, it won't be. Hey, love bug. Blend out some of the edges while it's still a little bit damp. Ready? Stop. There we go. Now this bit of tree looks like that bit of tree. Could do with just a little bit more medium value in this section. Maddie, please stop whining. More black. Found your mum for a quick chat and it turned into 3 hours. Oh, I know that feeling very well. And usually chatting to the dog. Maddie, stop. Settle. No, get down. You're being naughty now. Stop it. I think she wants to go out and play in the garden, but she won't go out and play in the garden because it's raining. So there's no point in me getting up and opening the door. Because she'll take one look outside and go, nope, not doing that. There we go. That's better. Okay. I'm going to darken up this area a little bit as well. This is all going to be covered in foliage, so it doesn't need to be too precise, just kind of dark. There we go. Little brush. Where's my little brush? There he is. Okay. I don't want to paint the owl's eyes flat black, so I think I'm going to paint them in that blue and then put the flat black over the top. So where's that? There it is. There's that blue. So I'll put the blue down first. Oh, actually, you know what? I might leave it blue. See how it dries. It is actually quite dark. I'm painting a little bit outside of his eyes because I want to be able to paint around them with the white. This is dry already. Catty. That's why it was so quiet. It was really quiet earlier. Couldn't get anybody to talk. That's why. It's because Tyler's not here. Okay. Now, where's the white? I think I'm going to do white acrylic, because I want it to dry. Will you stop? No, get down. I don't care what's up with you right now. You're being silly. I'm going to do him in the acrylic white so that I can put feathers over him, but then I can come back in with some regular gouache over the top as well without reactivating the white and turning everything pastel. I need to get my bird up again. Here he is. Okay, so he's this is acrylic white, so let's put this over here. I'm not going to need a lot, I don't think, but okay. No, he's got a white fuzzies. Can I move him? Not better. There's still a lot of glare because there's a lot of white balance is off. I don't know why. So all across his chest, he's got these black speckles. That's going to be fun to put in. Yeah, no. Out down spot. Oh, that's all completely blown out again. Okay, let's see with the white balance again, see if we can get it to, I'm gonna have to darken it. There you go. Now you can see the owl, but you can't see the rest of it. So oof. Nope, that's not the one. It's very dark now, but at least you can see what's going on. Where's my little paintbrush? There it is. Okay. And he's got a big dark patch on his wing, but I don't want to make it too dark. So I'm going to use this grey here. And the brown is acrylic gouache, and this is regular gouache. So I can kind of do a glazing technique over the top, so you can still see the brown underneath. And then he's got patches on his wings of brown as well. And he's got patches of white and lighter grey. So grab some lighter grey and put that in there. And he's got a really dark section. I'm going to use that lamp black again. Not lamp black, ivory black. Lamp black is black, but it's got a warm hue to it. Like think of lamps, basically. Lamps in the dark, you get a warm glow. Ivory black, I'm learning, is much more of a charcoal grey. It's not really black. I do wonder if it was called ivory black because it's like elephant coloured, because that's the kind of colour it goes. Although initially it looks black. I don't know. I don't know the history of the colours. But that's how I remember the difference. Lamp black has a warm glow. Jet black is black. It's neutral. And then the ivory black is really more of a charcoal. Okay, and then he's got a yellowish brown color going on over here. So let's use the rest of this yellow and this black here. Get kind of a greeny black. A line of color down the back of his wing. That may not be dark enough. I may have to add to that, but for something that tiny, I can do that in pencil. I don't think it's a good idea to try and do all of the bird in white, in pencil paint, sorry. What I do want to do is quickly put in his speckles. Now, obviously, the best way to put in speckles is with splatter. So I'm going to grab some, if I can find any. I don't know, can't ever find any sticky notes. Maddie, get down, get down, get down. I have tons of sticky notes. Why can I never find any? Get down. Stop. This is my planner pouch. There should be sticky notes in here. Why are there no sticky notes in here? I haven't gone through all 8,000 of my sticky notes. So where are they? Oh, is that some hiding there? Oh, I might have found some. Hang on. Might have found some. There we go. Found some. Okay, found some sticky notes. Okay, now here's what I'm going to do. I only want the speckles. It doesn't matter if it goes on his wing because he has actually got speckles on his wing, but I don't want the speckles to go anywhere other than that. So we're going to use sticky notes to cover up the bits we don't want hurt. So that's this his face. Don't want any speckles there. And then this whole white section and right down this highlight. Don't want any speckles there. Okay. Let's take a bit of this one. There we go. Don't want any speckles there either. And just mark off. He's going to have grass there, so I'm not too worried, but I don't want to get it on the tree. Right, now we can do speckles. Bigger brush. Water this down. Bit too big of a speckle, but that's okay. We can paint around it with a bit of white, or we can lift it even. I used acrylic gouache, so this isn't going to dry too fast, so we can actually lift this bit out. Put more white down. Again, just blot up any bits that are too big or too dark or and there we go. We have protected the area that we didn't need any speckles on. And we've got speckles everywhere else. That one looks a bit out of place because it's on the white bit. So I'm just gonna, brush is almost dry. I'm just dabbing it on that just to lighten it up a bit, turn it more into a bit of a dark feather rather than a splotch. Yeah, that's fine. I might add some more speckles to him, some more defined speckles later on with a bit of colour pencil. Oh, there you go. You can see it if I shade it a little bit. It looks a lot better in shade. I'll probably also come in on this green bit here with just a little bit of slightly darker pencil, like this, just to, and this is watercolor, so I'm using a Faber-Castell. Just to very, very slightly give him a little bit of an outline. It's not really an outline, it's more kind of shading around him so that he stands out a bit better, because there's not enough contrast between the light green and the white. So just by adding a little bit of very, very light pencil, we can make it look like dappled light and also push him forward from the background a little bit. I can do the same with yellow. So I put a lot of yellow into this area, so I can take the yellow pencil and add some bits of yellow behind his head. Again, very light. I'm not putting any pressure on this at all. But you can see how it just gives him almost like an outline, but not quite. Makes his white stand out a little bit better. And then we can come back up here and add, just a couple of little splotches of yellow. Make it look like it's meant to be like that. There we go. It's so hard to film something like this with such high contrast. I didn't think this through. But I'm pretty happy with how he's looking. Let's zoom him out a bit. And you can see the whole thing a bit better. There you go. Ta-da! So now all I've got to do is the greenery in the front and over here, which is essentially lots of splodging. There is nothing interesting to watch in that. It is literally just getting a variety of different brushes and doing different splodges of different greens and layering them up until you've got foliage. There's nothing technical about it at all. And then what I do is I use my pencils over the top just to define a few outlines so that you can see it's a leaf. Just to have, like, probably here where there's overlapping dark foliage and then light foliage, just around the perimeters, just a few lighter bits and like bits and pieces, just to show it's a leaf. It's not just a big patch of green paint. But that won't be interesting to watch, I can assure you. That's just going to be splodge, 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 splodge of green paint. If you want to see it, I will save it for next week. But like I say, it won't be interesting. Really cool fox with dark markings that looked like an African hunting dog. Ooh, I don't know what an African hunting dog is, but I can imagine a fox with dark markings. It sounds kind of cool. I think I'm done there for today. This is I think as much as I can do on camera. So keep an eye out at some point for the reveal of the whole thing at some point. No, I'm just gonna, well, this white is still viable. Add a bit more white, just add a little bit of, you can't even see this on camera, but I'm literally just touching the brush around the edge of the eyes, so to break up the line of the eyes. Literally, that's all I'm doing. So you have, you started off with this shape ish, okay, and I'm going back in with white, just literally just doing that around the edge of the eye, just to soften up. And obviously this is all the same color as well, so it just softens up that edge. See how it's not hard edge anymore? That's all I did, but very tiny. Forgot what you were supposed to do when it came in. I'm pretty happy with it. I think he's going very well so far. So I'm going to grab a photo while I've got the studio lights on, and I can hold him up without any craziness happening. Whoops, there we go. Get down, Maddie. Okay, let's take a full size. Let's take a close-up of the bird. Okay, so without all the craziness of autofocus on, without all the craziness of the studio lights, focus, focus. That's what it actually looks like. See how much it's blown out by the studio lights. And there's the owl. You can see all the red parts on his wings and everything. Not as easy to see with the camera, the actual thing with the camera, because it's not because it's reflecting light off the paint. It's not. It's just that the studio lights are killing the contrast on the camera so that oh, there you go. That's about as good as I can get it. Very, very hard to get anything like this to paint properly or to show on camera properly. But obviously when I put a photo up, it will be a lot better. Yeah, and it's just going back over it, in and out and in and out and in and out. And it, you know, you can't see even half the detail with the high contrast, but this is what it really looks like. And that's without even the autofocus on. That's fuzzy. It's so hard to show this kind of detail on camera. It really is. Especially because I'm streaming, so it's not even a high HD camera. It's a streaming camera, so it's not even high definition. Oh, but yeah, I will have proper photos up at some point. Yeah, I think that's it. Thanks for joining me, guys. And I will see you, well, if you're in my When Frogs Sing over on Patreon, tomorrow on Thursday, and then Saturday. And if you're in my members only or in my Motivation Monday class, then that will be Monday. I will see you. So if I don't see you till next Wednesday, have a great weekend. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. It all helps the channel to grow, and the elusive algorithm, however that mysterious voodoo works, you know, it might end up on the front page. You never know. It would be nice. Yeah, like, subscribe, comment, share, whatever you can do will help the channel. And I will see you guys again very soon. Bye.